Technology in the classroom. It's great, but it can be frustrating. So we're going to look at two models today, LoTI and SAMR, but we're going to start with LoTI. LoTI stands for Levels of Teaching Innovation. This framework was given, though, not just to assess technology in the classroom, but rather to assess the balance between instruction, assessment, and digital resources today. There are 6 levels in the LoTI framework. There's actually kind of 8 because 4 is 2 and there's level 0, but we're going to stick with 6. In levels 1 through 3, the learning is really teacher-directed and not student-centered. In these levels, the technology use is minimal and the teaching isn't really higher-order thinking teaching. However, we do see the teacher using technology in level 2 and 3. It's just for comprehension and knowledge, not really higher-order thinking skills. In levels 4 through 6, all of the teaching is student-centered. So now they're using technology well in lessons and implementing it well, but all of their teaching is higher-level thinking. The SAMR model is different in that it doesn't have to do with thinking or teaching. It really only has to do with different levels of implementing technology in the classroom. In SAMR, the S stands for substitution, and it basically means you're using a newer form of technology to substitute an older one, like using Google Docs instead of Microsoft Word. The A stands for augmentation, and it basically means that the substituted form of technology you're using has something that improves the project. The M stands for modification, and it means that the task is somehow actually being redesigned because of the technology. The R stands for redefinition, and it basically means that the task at hand is actually one that couldn't be done without technology, kind of like interviewing someone over Skype who's in a different country for a project, something you couldn't do without technology. Now that we kind of know what they look like as two separate entities, let's see what the similarities are. Well, they clearly both want to integrate a lot of technology usage in the classroom, but they also both recognize there's a difference between just using technology, as in substituting it or using it in a very minimal level, versus using it to enhance a project. Now, when we start to think about the differences, SAMR basically gives teachers 4 categories that only have to do with technology. This enables teachers to basically look at their lesson plans and see what their teaching constitutes of, which category it falls into. LoTI, however, goes into much more detail. It doesn't just talk about the levels of technology you can use and whether they're teacher-centered or student-centered. It talks about the higher-order thinking skills involved, as well as the material resources involved. So if a teacher is only wanting to think about what kind of technology they need to use, SAMR might be a better model to start with. But if a teacher is really looking to think of the technology along with the higher order thinking skills and everything else that they need to put together in a lesson plan, LoTI is a good framework to start with. This is the biggest takeaway though. You're gonna use technology in your classroom some way or another, so however you use it, make sure that it's actually benefiting your classroom. And as a teacher, it's important for you to realize how you can enhance your classroom with technology.